Hello, this is Jacqueline from First Precedent and Visa Services, and today we're going into part 2 of our video that we made yesterday on how to naturalize as a British citizen. And so today we're going to go into exactly what we will do online. So let's type in, it's already there I know, and there you go, how to naturalize as a British citizen. And you click on that, click on this link, and here we have it. We're on UK Gov or gov.uk. Apply for citizenship if you have indefinite leave to remain or settled status. And you will remember yesterday that we mentioned that this was a prerequisite in order to apply, that you would need to make sure that you do have settled status. Now if we go down the form, we can see some useful information here. Make an application yourself, and you can also apply by post. That's quite useful if you don't know, you're not familiar with doing these types of applications online. That's useful to know. And you can also get help to apply online by clicking that link here. So there are many options, ways that this thing can be done. It's not just one route. And then you can also apply through a legal representative such as ourselves, First Precedent and Visa Services. And when you click on this link here, this will bring you to all the advisors who are registered and regulated. Alright, so now we're going to scroll. We're going to scroll down. And you can see that there are also other organisations that you will be able to make the application through. So you can also go through solicitors or barristers that are not registered with the OISC. The solicitor or barrister must be registered with one of the following organisations, and they are all listed here. Okay. Now the first category that we are going to go into, because we are going to do this application online, we're going to click on this link here where it says make an application yourself. So we're assuming that you want to do this yourself, and so you would click on this link here, fill in the form online. And then we scroll down, and it's very useful information here because they do go through a summary of the information that you will need to provide. We talked about life in the UK test and proof of your knowledge of the English language. And we did mention that you would need to pass the test, life in the UK test. Now there are some exemptions, and I've not gone into those, so that's something that you will need to check out to see if there is an exemption and whether that applies in your circumstances. So here, as we're scrolling down, you will need to provide evidence of your settled status, or certificate of entitlement, if you do have that. Evidence of settled status, which is what you will get if you're an EU national. And so they're just going through what documents you will need to make sure that you do have for this. Okay. And as it does say as well that if you're inactive at all, you will be logged automatically out of the system. Now we can click on the green button here, which says apply now. Are you in the UK? Are we going to click yes? We're going to provide our email address, and that's going to be info@firstpresident.com. And then you need to create a password. And you can save that, and you will be able to continue. Now you've got an option once you've got your password sorted out and an email address. You can continue, or you've got the option to return to this application later. So we're just going to click now, save and continue. Now here we have, who does this address belong to? Well, I'm an immigration advisor. So I'm going to click on this link, but of course, if you're making the application yourself, you're going to click on the applicant. I'm going to enter my details here. And when you do register, you do get an automatic email returned as well, and you will have to click on that link to verify that it's actually the correct email address, and you acknowledge that by clicking on that and verifying that link, and it enables you to continue, of course. So I'm just confirming the email address is okay to use. Now here we have the details for the immigration advisor, because I clicked on that link, you remember. I'm going to put the office address. I'm just going to enter that manually. And the details are Interchange House, 81 to 85 Station Road. And we click Save and Continue. And then the question, who regulates your advisor? And that will be the OISC. And then we enter our details, our reference number here. And once that's complete, you then get a summary of all the questions that you've been asked and your answers, and you've also got the option to change those details. Yeah, so that's quite straightforward. So in your case, that will just be if you're making the application yourself, this will just be personal information pertaining to you, which will be your details and your address. Then now we move to the bit about the applicant itself, applicant, his or herself, and we click on this link here. And then you've got the question, are you completing this form on behalf of someone else? So I'm going to tick, no. And we have the details here. Apply for naturalization as a British citizen. And then you've got to enter your name as shown in your current passport or travel document. Use the English spelling of your name where provided, all right? So you've got to enter the details as stated on your passport. So I'm just going to put my name here. In addition to the names already provided, are you now or have you ever been known by another name? So, for example, if you have you've made your maiden name and you're now using your marriage name, so you would enter those details here. So I'm just going to click no. And then you'd provide your email address. You click save and continue. Now we can see we're into the, into the application. So now they want to know your telephone number details. Once again, and I'm just going to put in, just for our example, our office number. And once again, I'm going to just use the office address, which is Interchange House, 81 to 85 Station Road, West Croydon. I'm just going to click yes here in this box. And I'm just going to put here, just for, for this application, just for this tuition, so to speak, really, 2024. Actually, I won't change that. Let's put 2020. We can stick no there. I'm going to go back again. You know why I'm doing that. Click yes. Now you've got the opportunity now to enter where you want to attend for the ceremony. So if your application is approved, you must attend the citizenship ceremony, and you can select a council from the list. So we're trying to find Croydon. Now you've got to enter your nationality, the country, and your date of birth. I mean, that's quite explanatory. And let's just look to see what are going to be the additional questions that are likely to be asked in these cases. So we can see, you know, you've got the document section, then you've got the declaration, and then you pay, you make the payment. So I'm not going to fill this little section here in, because I'm just doing this for a way of tuition, just to let you have an understanding of what the process actually entails. Okay, so as you can see, you know, the application itself, and what probably happens at this point would be that you would put in okay, so then you're asked about your passport details, so you must enter all your passport details, your expiry date, start date and expiry date, and details of where you're born, and you enter your date of birth and whether you do hold an identity card. Now we're moving on. Do you hold any other nationalities? So I'm just going to tick no here. And then the question is, have you been granted indefinite leave to remain in the UK? Alright, so we're going to click yes. And then they want to know the actual date when you were granted indefinite leave. So let's just put the 1st of January 2024. And then was your indefinite leave to enter or remain granted under the EU settlement scheme? You can click yes or no. I'm going to click no here. Then of course you've got to, if you have a national insurance number, you can put that down. Now I'm going to exclude that information for this tuition. Now here's a question, have you passed Life in the UK test? And we mentioned this earlier. I'm going to click yes, and then you'll need to enter your unique reference, your test number, to show that you actually passed the exam. Okay, so once you've entered your pass certificate number, then you move on, and it's got your previous visa. Do you have a previous visa, entry clearance, or leave to remain where you had to prove your knowledge of English? So here, if you do have, you know, your previous visa and you needed a certificate, or you have a certificate, then you would enter those details here. But for this example tuition here, I'm going to click no. Now it's got knowledge of the English language. Do you meet the knowledge of the English language requirement as part of indefinite leave application made on or after the 28th of October 2013? So applicants who applied for and obtained settlement on or before that date there was another English language qualification at level B1, or you can use this as evidence of their knowledge of English language. However, if this qualification was not used and accepted for this settlement, it cannot be used for this application. Okay. English language, degree taught in English. Do you have a degree that was taught in English? I'm going to click no. Have you passed an English language test? And I'm going to click no here. Are you claiming an exemption from the English language test due to a medical or mental condition? And I'm going to click no. Now you've got to provide details about your first parent. All right. See those details there.